Virtual summits are the most powerful online marketing tool available to grow your list, launch your platform, make more money, and create an impact in the world, even if you're just getting started. If you are ready to take your summit to the next level, then tune into the Virtual Summit podcast with Dr. Mark T. Wade.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark T. Wade, founder of Virtual Summit Software and creator of the One Day Summit Formula. And I'm on a mission to help you, the summit host, get your summit out to the world in a powerful and impactful way. So let's get started. Hey, Summit host, Dr. Mark T. Wade here, founder of Virtual Summit Software and your host on the Virtual Summit Podcast. We are going to be talking about one of the most important aspects to a summit that most hosts are completely and utterly unprepared for when they jump into a summit, and that's the affiliate management side of a summit. Luckily, I have legendary Patty McGill here with me. He's the head of partner marketing over at Thinkific. He's hosted several of his own summits, like the Book to Course Summit and the YouTuber Creator Summit. He's been a part of helping that happen. He's also the king of ideas over at Thinkific with all these amazing things going on in his brain over there. Patty, thanks so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Mate, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much. Learning it all from you, mate. You know, we've been able to build an amazing relationship pretty much since this time last year. And mate, learning it all from the best. Learn all my summit stuff from the best here. The Dr. Summits.
Hey, that's actually good. I kind of like that. Dr. Summits. I'll give you credit for it twice and then I'm going to steal it. But no, we are very fortunate to have Patty here. I consider him a good friend of mine. He's doing amazing things in the world as well as over at Thinkific. And you should definitely know about this guy because he's out there creating some amazing things. Now, for today, we're going to go really specific on this. I mean, obviously, Patty could help talk us through a lot of things when it comes to virtual summits, but there's a topic that we have not dove into on the Virtual Summit podcast, and that's the affiliate marketing side of this. And now Patty's kind of a savant level genius when it comes to this area, so we're gonna take advantage of that. Now, before we get into that, Patty, why don't you let our summit hosts know just a little bit more about your background and who you are?
Yeah, you got it. So, hey, everyone, Paddy here. So my story begins actually back in the UK. So you may tell that my accent is slightly not North American. But I started off at a tech company, went from a 0 to £4 billion valuation, and then met the love of my life. Come to Canada, and I've been working in the affiliate marketing space, predominantly in e-commerce. So work with big brands like Hilton, Expedia.com, huge clothing retail brands there. And then when I joined Thinkific about 3 and a bit years ago, I came in actually as almost like an open hire. So I met Greg, the founder, and I said, look, this is my background. I saw, you've got an affiliate program, but there's nothing really happening with it. So I'd love to just find out a bit more about where I can help. And, 3 years later, the rest is history. And the program's grown, our affiliate program's grown 11x, since, which is absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, mate, this is an awesome company to be at. And I've fully immersed myself in this world of like online digital entrepreneurship, which still every time I speak to my friends in the old e-commerce sort of brand affiliate world, every time I talk about, the launches that people have, the amount of affiliate commission that people can make just by even sharing a launch or a virtual summit or something like that, even once, it's, I think their eyes, I can hear like that, especially I'm on the phone to them, their eyeballs like hit the floor, their jaws hit the floor. That's for sure.
Yes. Well, we've got some amazing things happening. And I know Thinkific's been doing some incredible stuff. Why don't we start off by just mention 2 or 3 of the most recent summits that you've helped been a part of, kind of behind the scenes, but making sure all the pieces came together. Because I'm sure a lot of our summit hosts out there listening have probably even heard or seen some of these. So just talk us through a couple of those.
Yeah, sure. So around about the springtime, we've created a couple. So we had our author to course series or book to course series, and that is where we interviewed published authors. We've got people like Danny Iny, we've got people like Jeff Goins. I had the opportunity to interview Danny Iny and talk about how he turned his book into an online course. And then also we had our YouTuber Creator Summit. So we interviewed top tier YouTubers that are using Thinkific to, as a way to like supplement their income, outside of like AdSense and Patreon. And it's been amazing. The feedback and the amount of like lead generation we've been able to do. And I sincerely believe it's through quality content, because there's a lot of summits out there. And I think there's a lot of summits out there to consume, but you have to be crystal clear on what that core message is. So that's why we keep it pretty, pretty obvious. So it would be something like the book to course summit, or the coach to course summit, or the author coach author series. We also have Think in Color. So that was, I'd probably say, our most successful one. So, we realized there was a huge sort of, gap in the market. There was not enough summits based on female entrepreneurship and females from, underserved and underprivileged, communities. So we want to make sure that is, that's brought to the forefront. So we interviewed again, people like Marshall and Evans Daniels, who's an amazing course creator here on the platform.
Virtual Summits software makes hosting a summit easier than ever. The only software in the world designed specifically for hosting a summit lets you set up a summit in a matter of hours with no tech skill or team needed. You can try out the Virtual Summits software free at virtualsummits.com. But hurry, this is a limited offer.
And it's been amazing. And we actually, what we've done and what I think works really well there was the relationships that we've been building up with our key influencers and our customers along the way. So one in particular actually is Zaylee Barkley. She was the co-host with Emily in our partner marketing team, and they basically doubled up. And Zaylee is a partner of ours. She's a Thinkific ambassador of ours. She's absolutely wonderful. She's been a partner of us for a long time now, and we made her the host, and also she helps out with a lot of the recruiting partners and affiliates that perhaps we didn't necessarily have the reach to, or even the relationship there. And it's worked out for the better, because even after the summits now, it's had amazing feedback. It's still generating evergreen leads. And I think, again, maybe we can touch on this maybe another time, or I know other people will talk about this, but creating content that, certainly from a summit perspective, that can be evergreen and be viewed, long term. And obviously with that, that complements any partner activity as well, because if it's still converting, if it's still making sales, and obviously in our case, converting, paid accounts onto Thinkific, there's a good opportunity for people to keep sending traffic there.
I completely agree. And I was just trying to look up here because we did an interview with Greg, actually, and we talked a little bit about oh yeah, here it is, episode 47. So if anybody wants to check that out, we actually interviewed Greg Smith, founder of Thinkific, and he talked a little bit more in depth on the Think in Color Summit. So if you're curious about that, and he also talked about the power of co-hosting summits as well. It's been a strategy Thinkific's been using, which is just genius. And Patty was just kind of mentioning it there as well. So let's jump in now into kind of the affiliate speaker management side of summits. So first off, a lot of our summit hosts are kind of, this is a new topic to them. Most of them maybe are just getting started even in business, or they've got some momentum going, but they haven't really managed a major kind of launch like a summit is. A summit is, if we're talking a multi-day summit, 20 to 40 to maybe 50 or more speakers, or even a one-day summit, even managing 5 to 10 is still something that needs to be respected and understood. So can you maybe give us 2 or 3, or just kind of talk us through a little bit of the overview of what like a speaker management or affiliate program for a summit might kind of look like, or some of the points to consider? And then we're going to dive more into some of the specifics of it. But just to give our audience, our listeners, a little bit of an idea of what's about to happen.
So for me, when we talk about speaker management, we have to start with the goal end in mind. So first of all, what's the key message we want to deliver? So using the author series, the book to course series, we wanted people to basically take their book and turn it onto an online course. So we looked at all of our customers, all of our partners, all the people that we've worked with, and who is like the very best or well known in their space to deliver a particular outcome. So with Danny, for example, it's like testing your concepts and building your curriculum. And we've had other partners there that were also talking about, how to get mentioned on, local news, local publications. We took people from each area of expertise. And then when we basically built an agreement with them, for me, I like to, and I think I have this luxury working for a tech company where we can also offer things like promotion. We may, depending on the performance, we may promote your stuff to our audience as well later down the line. Obviously, the people that opt in for it. So I have that luxury of doing that. So not a lot of new summit people will have that. However, what I would say is that you should absolutely leverage the power of other speakers and sponsors and use their lists as well. So being crystal clear on who you want to target and talking to them about what they're looking to get out of the summit as well. Because, your affiliate program is great, but if you can figure out exactly what people want, it could be that they don't even want the commission. So to give you an example, generally speaking, we don't take commission for any of the virtual summits we've ever hosted or been on. And if we do, we usually just donate them to charity. So it's like, so if someone said, we'll give you 50% commission, I'm like, well, yeah, you can keep it. We don't want it. But it's more, I'm trying to understand what these people want. And a lot of the time, the people that I speak to, we want exposure. We want, obviously, we want to be in front of your audience. So my advice would be, if you don't have that sort of list size right now, is to leverage other sponsors and brands that have the list size to again, effectively get more eyeballs for your speakers, with their audiences as well. So the key is, like, do those tools fit those speakers and who they go after? So again, if we're talking like authors, we know we're probably going to talk with someone like, let's say, Canva, or because obviously they do start off as a book cover design business, or it could be like, let's say, Active Campaign or Aweber or MailChimp, whoever it is, that will pick a couple of sponsors that have an interest or have a specialty in those areas. And then day to day, when I manage them, again, starting with the goal in mind, we set them up. We have this obviously refined many times now, but we have this like spreadsheet. It's like a template now, and we have like our speaker slots, what the topic's going to be about, sort of the keywords we're going to be going after from like a search perspective as well, because that's obviously all going to be baked into what we do. And then, we talk about, affiliate commissions. So we have like our standard, like 20% where we offer for like all affiliates and all partners anyway, for promoting any of our pay plans. But when we talk to them, we'll say, hey, if you would prefer access to the people that registered for your talk, or would you prefer, would you prefer instead us promoting maybe your product later down the line instead of commission? So with speakers, it's a tiny bit different, because I believe in trying to make like it's a bit more extra work, but trying to get some custom agreements in place, because then at least that if you're serving what people want, then they're going to take it, and 9 times out of 10 they're going to deliver on their expectations to emails to their list. But I think, again, even that, you have to make sure you're planning quite far ahead, because depending on the type of person you go after would dictate whether or not they actually go on to share. And I know, Mark, we spoke at length about this before. You have to have this sort of like A player, B player, and like seeing people that are building themselves up. The C to B players generally share. They want the exposure. A players you generally get in, or like people that are considered like the very top tier in their industry may share, but you have to know their schedules way in advance. So I believe everything starts even way before, where you're cultivating these relationships and understanding, what are you doing like this whole year? What are you doing for the next 6 months? Where can Thinkific and our summits fit into that and help your own promotional activity?
Yeah, so good. And speaking on the partners and getting them, motivated and learning about what they want, which is so important, because like you said, I think sometimes we'll approach speakers or partners and we'll be saying things we think they want, but like you were just saying, maybe there's other options that would be even more beneficial for them and easier for us as well. So can you kind of talk on the aspect of having the right partner, or probably more so, what happens if you have the wrong partner? And what because we always look at trying to get the right partner, right? Yeah. But what could actually happen if we get the wrong partner, and why is that such a big deal?
So you could get a couple of things. You could get you can get, people not sharing. You can get people not really delivering the sort of value that's expected of them. So certainly, if you made it crystal clear, like this is, these, and actually we don't really, I can't really think of a case that's happened to us, but obviously I've spoken and worked with other people in the summits world, and hear these stories a lot. A lot of the time, people don't really deliver on the value proposition, or they just simply take everything. So they'll say, okay, I'll have the exposure. Thanks very much. And then they never hit, you never hear from them again. That's very rare. And I believe, you have to do your checks, and you have to perhaps ask your friends in your niche. So, I was actually speaking on a virtual summit recently for yoga. I'm definitely not a yoga or yogi, so I think they've called themselves. But my goal there was to actually teach people about how you could turn your yoga practice into an online course as well. And Patricia. So if you listen to Patricia, hello. And she done a lot of vetting when she was going out and finding her speakers. She's been doing that she's done everything on her own. And bless her, she's done a really, really great job. And she stayed in touch every day, day 2, day 3, day 4. Here's the summit. Here's your speakers. Here's what's going to be, here's what's going to be covered. Here's your affiliate links. Make sure you share. You're doing a great job. It's a great way again of building up, building people up, because technically we're an affiliate and for her as well. So we're going to give a shout out on social and other places of interest.
So let's take a slight shift here. I want to kind of look at this from a more minute, detailed standpoint of the organization, because again, some of our summit hosts, this is going to be potentially their first summit, and they're not even they don't know what to expect. So I kind of want to paint the picture for them, give them a really good idea of what to expect, so they can be prepared for it when it comes to organizing. Probably like more from the content, deliverables, links, things like that side. Let's talk about managing them up to the summit, and then we'll circle back after that and talk about actually like the deliverables during and whatnot. Some kind of strategies for that. So what are some kind of good tactics or strategies that they should be aware of, or maybe not even strategies? What should I know going into this on how I'm going to need to organize my speakers?
So you need obviously like a central place, either a project management board, Asana, Trello. You could even Basecamp, which we used with Kerry and LaShawn for their online course success summit earlier this year. So that's that. You need to have one single place for all your documentation, and certainly from an affiliate's perspective, all your swipe. I would go as far as to say, having one master template of everything that you have, all your speaker notes, all of your speaker swipe, affiliate swipe, everything there in one place, ready to go, and you can always go back to. So if you lose a document, or maybe if you're working with other people and they overwrite by mistake and resave, certainly if not working in the cloud, having just one master document is great. Using Excel or Sheets is a really, really good way to organize it. And we have it in, for us, we have it in tabs. So we have speakers, affiliates, obviously other sponsors and brands that are part of it. And then we have it organized by name, email, contact, topic, the particular outcome that we're looking to have from that. And then that's the sort of the run up to who they are. And then after we have their affiliate links, if we have a bespoke agreement of some sort, what those are, and then their affiliate links. And again, that's like a master sheet. So anyone in our marketing team, and actually, I'm going to talk specifically from a support perspective. And obviously, again, if you're someone that's listening to this and you're just about to do this all on your own, the support element is really, really critical, especially from a service perspective, because people would want to know what's going on, especially if you're getting new people into your community. So having this is the offer, this is what it means, this is what it means to you as an affiliate as well. So I would just have it in usually one master document, and then have that split up into speakers, affiliate swipe, general email swipe for us, because obviously we outreach to our own email base, and then from there we have our almost like a keyword and blogging sort of research around it as well. So we take every summit, we get it transcribed, we get it, slightly edited, fixed for SEO, and then we post that on our, post each video on our page with everything there. So it's, again, highly searchable. So it pretty much now, like, we're ranking like number one on most of those types of topics.
Yeah, you guys, you go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, because like that's proven for us to be like a really successful way of like keeping that content evergreen as well. And again, it all comes back, like, great evergreen content allows affiliates and partners to keep sharing time and time again. And we have a consistent conversion rate on our trials to paid, so they know if they put X amount of clicks, they get X, Y amount of commissions.
Be sure to check out the speaker management tool inside your virtual summit software, which lets you quickly and easily recruit and manage your speakers on your virtual summit, literally eliminating hundreds of hours of work. Get more information at virtualsummits.com.
That's in that you guys definitely have an amazing process with there. I've seen it, I've been a part of it. Let's go into the aspects of, because this is a common question that comes up, is getting speakers to promote. So one of the powers of the virtual summit is it's a collaborative marketing strategy. And so we have, our speakers help promote the summit. What is something from your perspective that helps to encourage the speakers to actually get behind and promote the summit as they said they were going to do, without feeling, sleazy or pushy in the process?
Mm-hmm. I really, really believe it's fundamentally understanding what they want to get out of the summit, or even like why are they even considering being part of your summit in the first place? Why did they take it's that sort of sales. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat this morning. I've not covered this cough for a really, really long time, so apologies everyone. Let me just start again. So one of the key things to make sure that your speakers and the partners are going to share, in particular speakers, is understanding fundamentally what they are looking to get out of the summit. So when you approach them and you're talking to them about your key message, your big idea, people, they have to, I believe if they buy into that enough, and then you give them the support and you understand what it is that they want to get out of it. So do you want exposure to our audience? Do you want to be able to promote your stuff to us in the future? Do you want to come maybe speak on stage with us next year at a big event? These are the things that we try to understand, instead of just saying, hey, here's a summit, it's going to be about course creation, do you want to promote it, yes or no, type of thing. We've got to understand what they want. And again, this comes back to what I was saying earlier, these and again, what we've spoke about, Mark, when you have, the people, the very, very best in their industry might already be lined up for speaking summits, sharing stuff already. So you have to really understand and make a decision on, to get some of the bigger names on board that would actually bring in the B and C level partners. In terms, and I mean that with no respect. I'm talking from being known in their market. They're the people that bring in the other partners. So you have to make a decision on, okay, so we're going to have some key partners that aren't going to share, for example, but they are the number one in their industry, and we're still going to give you commission. We're still going to take great care of you. But we want to make you like one of our anchor speakers type of thing. And then from there we have other speakers, not as well known, but more hungry and more willing to share. And I think that again comes back to finding out essentially what these people want. And this is the hardest part, right? Because you're dealing with people on a daily basis. You're speaking with people on a daily basis, not just set up a Facebook ad, increase your ad spend and make a few tweaks and then make money. This is a relationship. This is a relationship game. So you have to stay regularly in touch, understanding what people are doing. So the groundwork again starts way before your summit. So as soon as you get,
and I want
to
dig into this, because I'd actually just written down and circled relationships over here to ask you about, because you are a master of this. So do you have kind of a process that you use as far as that outreach, follow-up, touch base, things like that, because you are constantly building the relationship in order to move it into the direction to be able to create a collaboration, one that'll support Thinkific, and then one that you can turn around and support that partnership back as well. So do you have any kind of system as far as like how you build that relationship that maybe you could talk us through?
Yeah, so we have, so obviously we have like obviously a CRM. So, so for example, when, let's say, Mark, me and you speak for the first time, or like this time last year, and you tell me like, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm working on, this is what I'm going to be up to for the next 12 months. And then I'll say something on the lines of, okay, so this is what we're doing. We're going to be working on some virtual summits. We're going to have our like big annual summit. We're also going to be attending these events. And also I want to know what other launches you've got. So we make a note in our system. We have like almost like a tick box, like, has this person sort of, in principle agreed to be part of our summit, be part of any mini series. They specialize in these particular categories. And then they have, other things of interest. So it could be that, we're going to basically promote them to our audience around about this date or this quarter. So that's where the planning starts. And that's like the little system that we have in place. And then just, regularly stay in touch, finding out when people's birthdays are, special events. We do a lot of cool things, for people throughout the year. And again, believe some of the stuff we've done with Zadie, for example. She was part of Think in Color. She's one of our preferred partners. And, she went to, I think it was Video Marketing World in Dallas, which is, Dallas. So, she went there as almost like a Thinkific rep, so to speak. So we basically got her ticket. She went out there. She spoke about her experience because she's a video specialist, and obviously that complements what we do, because we're helping her get exposure as well. So these are the things that we try to figure out when we work with partners, of all levels as well. How else can we help throughout the year? Because you have to, without knowing that you can't. You might as well just send people a quick email just saying how you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I want to go even a little bit deeper to this, because this sets us up for another question that I wanted to talk about, is an area. But before we do that, I have to just accelerate the point you just made there, because I see this far too often in the summit space. Is summit hosts, one, they don't give themselves enough time to do the summit, so then they're rushed. They're trying to get all these speakers on. They get all the speakers on, but then they don't have enough time to take care of the speakers from a relationship standpoint, like we're talking about. So then it comes off as almost transactional. Hey, I need you to do this and then do this for me, versus actually spending some of the time, like you just said, Patty. And it could be as simple as just shooting over a message on Facebook or email and simply saying, hey, what are you up to right now? What are you working on? And then letting them know that you care about them. So this is such a good point that I really hope all of our listeners right now are taking away, because it's not being done correctly currently, and it needs to be. So then going in that direction, the other aspect that then doesn't happen, I always say, if it's not processed, it won't happen. And this is, everybody gets kind of caught up. They get the summit. Now they have this list and they're like trying to take care of the audience. But then they forget one of the most important aspects to your business, which is strategic partnerships. And so they don't focus on the relationship with the speakers afterwards. So can you kind of talk us through what you do, what your process is after you have a big event, whether it's a summit or a launch or something like that? You don't just forget about your affiliates, your partners, your speakers. You actually have a process. So talk us through what some of those things are that you're doing.
So for us, it goes without saying that we will send a thank you email. Not just like, hey, thanks for participating, cheerio. We will send, like our Thinkific swag pack. We will send, obviously, like a breakdown of things like the video views, the watch times, registrations. If we've done a lead sharing component with some speakers, which is a great way to. And so if there's any brands listening to this is a really great way to increase your lead capture, giving them access, obviously in a compliant way, to those leads as well. And again, a lot of the time, we can even do, like, we will say, it's like, hey, now we've got this locked in. What's next now that we need to be talking about? You mentioned to me that you're going to be doing a launch in December, Mark, you know, for example, where can we now support you with that? So it's just, for me, just staying on the beat, and just making sure that you're referencing back your notes or the CRM that you're using. So if you're not using a CRM, if you've just got using Excel, which is absolutely fine, then maybe just have, even in your speaker summit Excel sheet, if you're using one, or if you're using one of Mark's training guides and worksheets, then maybe even have a column on the very end that's like almost like an after column, and then maybe like follow up 1, follow up 2, follow up 3, and make sure that you're trying to, again, figure out what they're doing, where you can help. Because, you know, committing to email to a summit is not, you know, it doesn't sound like a lot of work. Copy paste the script, send it, make money. Like, that's, you know, we all wish that was the way it was, but that's not really the case, right? If you're someone who's painstakingly crafted an audience, a community, you have to be 100% sure that what you're promoting to, I believe this anyway, you have to be 100% sure that what you're promoting has to add extreme value to your audience. So again, the research from you as someone who's creating a summit, it's not just, again, I want to get Dr. Mark T. Wade to come and be my keynote speaker. It's like, why would his audience, and, knowing that he's got a huge audience, but why would his audience actually care to hear from me? Why would they care to know about this summit? So that's what we've got to start thinking about as well. It's not just the speakers, it's their audience. Why does the audience care? Why should they care?
Yeah. No, that is so good. And like, for me, I process this, and it sounds difficult. I know, like, for our summit hosts out there, when they're thinking like, I've got to do a summit, I've got so much work to do. How can I think about the follow-up process? But honestly, it doesn't have to be super complex or complicated. Maybe it's a matter of 4 emails over the course of 2 or 3 months that you've just kind of plotted out. Like, I do that on every aspect on my podcast. I have a process after the fact for every guest that's on the podcast for me to stay in touch with them and follow up with them. It's the same on a summit. And something as little as that can make such a big difference when it comes to a relationship. And that has a monumental effect on your business. If you can get one brand or one partner like Thinkific, for example, to support you on some project, like, that's a game changer for your business. And again, I have to give major props and shout outs to Patty and Thinkific over there, because they've been a huge supporter of Virtual Summit software and everything we're doing over here. So I definitely hats off, and I appreciate you guys and love you over there. So as we start to get towards the end of this episode here, I kind of like to switch tracks for a second and talk about the things that we offer, because, everybody knows, like, okay, give a list build, give commissions. And you've mentioned the fact that you should find out what the speaker wants or what the partner wants, but could you just give us some examples of some creative things to help our summit hosts start to see the different things we can offer to partners that are not just incentive or list build?
Yeah. What a great one is, actually, if you have let's say, if you do a lot of these, like speaking gigs, for example, and you're in a particular, and offline, but you get a large audience, maybe you get like 100 people or so at a meetup, and let's say it's a yoga meetup, you have a partner that's just about to launch a book, for example. Say, hey, I would love to either purchase the books, maybe at a discount, we'll see, or figure out something there. But I'd love to bring those books actually to my meetup and talk about you, or even like dial you in via a Zoom and have you as like a guest speaker, like a sort of mini message to the audience that I'm working with, and say, hey, as a thank you for everyone that's joined this meetup today, my friend Mark here has got a copy of his Virtual Summits book. And, it's for everyone that's here joining us. And then obviously inside you can have your, a link to a lead magnet or something on those lines to generate. So that's like one, for me, like a really cool idea that I'm personally would love to try out, because it's a little bit unique. But again, helping other people get exposure in other areas. So introductions, I think, are massive. absolutely massive. So, I had there's a lady I helped launch an online course. She's just using Instagram, and she's on Thinkific now. And she has about 170,000 Instagram followers. She's in the health and fitness area. She's a young girl, so 21, 22 years old. And, I spoke to another influencer, actually at a competitor platform, who's coming over to us. And, she has exactly the same profile. Like, we're talking like, they might as well like be sisters. And then so Mimi is the lady I'm referring to that's been working for us for a little while. Yesterday, I just opened up a WhatsApp group and I just called it like Power Intros Free. And then I just dropped a quick video and it's like, hey, you two, I know I've been speaking to you both about, XYZ, what you're both doing. I really think you two should start collaborating on something because you're both complementary to each other. And then that was it. I said, we'll leave it to you. I think that's but it's very powerful, especially if you can figure out what people's individual needs or wants or what perhaps they're lacking, either in terms of a skill set or if they need a connection or, so again, it's doing the homework on what people want. So I know, for example, that Mark wants to be connected with speakers. He wants to be connected with people that have created virtual summits. So that, I know because there's a very exciting project on the horizon, so I won't spoil it right now. But I'm going to be actively helping him find the people that he's looking for. The moment I think about it, someone mentions certain keywords, I'm going to be like, that's it. I'm going to do the intro. And it can honestly, it can be as simple as just spoke to you two individually. This introduction makes sense. So I'm just going to leave it over to you. That's it. Make it happen because that's powerful. That's powerful stuff. If you find one contact that could be sharing or doing something that you perhaps never dreamed of, then it could be a game changer.
With the Ever Summit feature inside the Virtual Summit software, you can rerun your summit as if it were live, ongoing forever with one click of a button. This now lets you continue to use your summit forever, bringing in qualified and engaged leads every month into your business. Get more information at virtualsummits.com.
So 2 points with that. One, we can totally spoil the surprise because I'm super excited about that. And Patty's referring to Summit Scripts, which is coming down the pipeline. You can stay tuned, check out our resources area over at virtualsummits.com. We'll have information about Summit Scripts coming out, and Patty's, of course, going to be involved in that and highlighted there. But another example of you living what you're actually talking about here is back when you and Thinkific were co-hosting the course summit with Dr. Carrie Rose Wilson, you put me and Carrie in touch. And from there, I decided to go ahead. Not only did we help, consult on that summit, give advice into that, but then partnered with it, promoted it. And from there, me and Carrie have become incredibly good friends. Mm-hmm. I've supported her on other things, and she supported us on, our Interview Like a Pro program that came out. So just from that connection between you and us, it's been an ongoing, amazing relationship. And because of that, we both have extreme gratitude and appreciation towards you. So this is a perfect example of how just putting, you don't have to spend money. You don't have to blast your email list. You could literally just put people together and make a big difference in their lives. So I absolutely love that. And that's a perfect example of you living that. So let's now, as we wrap this up, Patty, I want you to kind of give our summit hosts any kind of just what's on your mind as far as top advice or inspirational information that they should be thinking about when it comes to their summit from your experience?
I think don't worry. Try not to. I would definitely say if you're going to just put all your eggs in one basket and hoping that the virtual summit is going to be like the everything of your online business, as much as a lot of people say, if you launch a virtual summit, you can launch a 10-figure business with it. It can work, but I would make sure that you just have a plan for other things in place that support your other marketing and community, and importantly, community building activities. But don't get lost in the weeds of it, because you can definitely do that. You can definitely go right too much into the detail about, is this particular topic going to be right? I know when we first were talking about doing a summit, we had this, it was meant to be, we're going to have just a couple of people, and then it was like huge list of people. So don't make a rod for your own back, as they say. That's the, one message, one person, one outcome, and then deliver on it.
So good. So good. Okay, Patty, at that point now, we are going to start to wrap this up. I know our audience is like, okay, I need more of Patty in my life. One, I just love that sexy voice of his. So how can I get that? And how can I pick his brain? So why don't you let our summit hosts and summit speakers know where you hang out at? What's the best place to get in touch with you, and any kind of final words you want to share with them?
Yeah, thanks, mate. This has really been tons of fun. So if you want to connect me personally, just you can actually find me on Facebook. So Paddy McGill, and if there's a video version of this, then you know what I look like. You can just search Paddy McGill Thinkific, and I'm usually there. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. So it's linkedin.com/partnerpreneur, which is like my tagline type of thing. And yeah, find me there, or just email in. Just do even just webinars at thinkific.com, market retention of Paddy, and then I'll pop you out a little note. And if you want to try Thinkific, just go over to thnk.cc/try30, and away you go.
Absolutely. And we'll have all of those links and access to Patty over in the show notes at podcast.virtualsummits.com/076. So 76. Patty, this has been absolutely phenomenal. Me and you could chat for hours. Literally, we have done that before, but unfortunately, we have to bring this to a close and say goodbye. And I just want to thank you again for sharing your wisdom, your brilliance, your sincerity with me and our audience.
Thanks, mate. Really appreciate it. Enjoyed it. And, look forward to hearing you on another episode.
Absolutely. And thank you, all you summit hosts, for spending this time with Patty and I. I'm Dr. Mark T. Wade, founder of Virtual Summit Software. And remember, your message matters. So go out and make a difference. Don't forget to check out all the information we've just been talking about, links and resources and access to everything at the show notes, podcast.virtualsummits.com/076. And we will see you on the next episode.
Thanks for listening. Now don't forget to subscribe and leave a 5-star review on the Virtual Summit podcast. Head over to the show notes to check out all the links and resources from this episode, and be sure to grab your free trial of the Virtual Summit software.
Now, I want to end this episode by saying to all the summit hosts listening right now, I believe in you, and you can do this. Summits are by far one of the most powerful ways to quickly grow your list, launch your platform, make more money, and most importantly, make an impact in the world, even if you're just getting started. So don't get caught up in analysis paralysis, because the world needs to hear your message, and there are people who are waiting for you to help them. So just get started, because imperfect action is always better than no action. Thank you, and see you on the next episode.